have to be.
What?
Gotta train them.
I, for one, feel this is just like in book 1, where, again, I feel bad for Hermione. It's happening. Something's happening to her again. She was stuck in the bathroom with the troll, and now she's petrified. I feel bad for her.
She's just too nosy.
She can't help it. It's just her nature.
I had a thought that, for some reason, J.K. Rowling didn't want to write for Hermione as much during this book. Like, her logic was just too much for this book. Like, she couldn't make a good enough argument for having Hermione not figure some shit out. So she just put her in the hospital wing for most of this book. She put her in there for like 8 weeks for the cat thing. And then she just put her right back in there and she's sleeping again.
Coma.
Yeah.
And then she took a really long nap.
Right.
Like 4 days.
I feel like that's what it is. JK was just like, you know what? It's too much. I can't handle you and your brain right now, so I'm just going to put you to sleep. I'm just going to deal with Ron and Harry because they're kind of dumb for the rest of this book.
That makes sense. That's kind of like sound logic there.
But so the reason that she brought them to the infirmary, she holds up a small circular mirror and asks Harry and Ron if they could explain it, which is a weird... Well, it's a mirror.
Yeah. And those are 2 girls. Like,
right.
They were checking out their reflections? I don't fucking know, McGee. Figure it out yourself.
Are you telling me why a 12-year-old girl wouldn't have a mirror?
Yeah. I don't know.
But they're like, no, I don't fucking know. It's a mirror. That's what I could picture, especially Ron saying, it's a mirror. Yeah, it's reflective.
Does it do magic? Because the last mirror that we saw did magic.
Right.
So you should probably test it for magic.
So McGee, who has to go make the announcements because she's head of the house and has to tell all of the Gryffindors what's going on, it's like, well, I'll just escort you back myself. Nothing happens. Nothing of note, because it's like cut to, now they're in the Gryffindor common room.
Yeah.
And there's a new 6 p.m. curfew. They have to be escorted to class and to the bathroom by a teacher.
Kind of strange.
And unless you are in class or at the bathroom, you are in your common room. You are in your common room with the rest of the people in your house. No questions.
Yeah.
So basically on lockdown.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Some serious lockdown.
Can you imagine the teacher being put in charge of running the kids back and forth to the bathroom, like, one at a time?
Well, that's what I was thinking.
All day long.
They would definitely have to have, like, potty break. Like,
potty break.
Yeah, like, okay, who has to go to the bathroom? Because you're not going for the next fucking hour, all right?
Every half hour, we will send one teacher who will escort whoever needs to go there.
Yeah.
So if you think you might have to, come along and take care of it.
Or they just have Filch, like, making rounds to each classroom and bringing groups of children back and forth.
I think if they had Filch escorting students, not many people would be like, yeah, I have to go. I'd be like, I'll hold it. It's fine. I'll wait.
But here,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, does the common room, we think the common rooms have bathrooms though, right?
I think the common rooms do have bathrooms.
Because then they can, like, just hold it and then piss a lot at nighttime.
Yeah, I think the dormitories as a whole, because they have, like, their separate, like, bedrooms that they kind of, like, all sleep in one bedroom, and then there's, like, the common room, which is, like, the, hangout area. I would highly assume that there's a bathroom.
There should probably be, like, a shower in there, too, right? I talked about this before, too. I'm just very curious about the shower situation. I don't know why. It's just like, what?
Well, I think the way that it goes is that each house has a common room, and that common room may not have a bathroom, but the dorms, which are, I think, above the common room in the Gryffindor house, there's a guy dorm and a girl dorm, and they each have a bathroom. Because it's a dorm. Like, that's where the bedrooms are. Obviously, there's going to be a bathroom there.
Well, in Gryffindor, the dorms are in the towers, like the spires of the castle.
Right.
So Harry's class has a room, like there's a spiral staircase, and they have a room in the spire.
I would think they would be able to whip their wand out and be like, superest cleanest. And that's it.
I thought you were going to go a totally different direction with that.
I was thinking he was going to go like magic piss removal.
That's totally what I was. He was going to point it at it.
We were talking about showers, damn it. Come on.
Well, yeah, but
For emergencies only, there might be something like that. You never know.
Superest
get real.
cleanest.
I got to take a shit now. I have a magic
Superest
wand.
cleanest.
How cool would it be like, don't have to go anymore?
Feces removus.
Yeah.
Undungus.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we know the owls already have a poop spell. Maybe
Yeah.
that's as
Maybe they just don't have to go. If they're in the
they
castle.
seal their asses up. Anyways,
All right.
That's a lot to take in.
basically, the school's gonna be closed if an attacker is not caught, and anybody who has any information is supposed to come forward. And then she climbs weirdly out of the portrait hole in the wall.
I could go for a drink.
Yeah, but we don't have to climb out of a weird hole in the wall to get a drink, do we?
No, the fridge is right there.
Yay!
It's pretty awesome and convenient.
Well, I think we're gonna go to a beer break then.
All right. Well, the second beer that we are drinking tonight is completely different. Definitely not a milkshake stout. This one is Harvest Raspberry Peach from Brewery Vivant. It's blended farmhouse fruit ale. Ale brewed with raspberries and Michigan peach juice. I didn't know that Michigan, grew peaches. I know you can grow them here.
We have all the fruits.
Well, I grew up in Hudsonville. That's the Michigan salad bowl, so maybe I'm just unaware of the fruit situation. But it's really, really good. Very sweet.
Oh, you tasted it?
I did. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have. Cheers.
Would you like to try it, Shantell?
I would like to.
So it's like a farmhouse ale that they then turn into a sour and then add fruit to.
Brewery Vivant has a lot of sours. They don't tend to do a whole lot of fruits that aren't sour for some reason.
It's all farmhouse ale. That's the whole shtick there. So they start with a farmhouse ale, and I think the only way they can make something sweet and fruity after making a farmhouse ale is to let it sour and then add the fruit, and that's what they did.
That makes sense, I guess.
Because that's every beer they make is a farmhouse ale. I'm not sure exactly what that means. Yeah, it's right on their logo. That's what they specialize in.
Yeah, they have the cock up there.
Maybe not every.
Oh, it says Michigan.
The big red cock
It
is
says
one
Michigan
of their
farmhouse ale. Okay, I thought they is a saison a farmhouse ale?
I couldn't tell you.
Oh, see, I'm trying to become a beer connoisseur, so I'm trying to figure all these things out.
That's the place right down in Grand Rapids that we went, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the church.
That had the super, super good French fry dip.
Yes.
Yeah, the aioli.
They had
Aioli.
beignets.
Yeah.
Yes.
You were super mad they weren't serving them at that time, but we got the aioli.
Yes.
I was super happy about that.
They also serve bone marrow and a whole bunch of other shit. It's pretty cool.
I just remember you sit at a common table, so you're sitting with a bunch of people that you don't come in with, but it's medieval style. There's just a big ass bench, kind of like what would look at Hogwarts.
I was gonna say you get you get Hogwarts vibes for sure when you're in there.
It's very, very cool. But I think we're going to take a little break, and we'll be back right after this. And we're back. So, Lee Jordan points out that the Slytherins are the only ones who haven't really been attacked yet. And that it's the heir of Slytherin, and Slytherin has a fucking monster now. He's like, we should just kick all of them out, and boom, problem solved.
Fuck the Slytherins.
Right.
Hey, now. I mean, it's a valid theory. But
Yeah.
also, but also, no.
You guys are trouble, man.
Yeah.
How else are you going to handle yourself in the real world?
You gotta
You're
be
gonna
a
have to learn how to
Slytherin.
do it in school.
Murdering muggles? Probably
Yep.
not great.
That's how we roll.
Yeah. Learn how to not get murdered.
I don't have any evil monsters in my corner, so I don't really relate, but
Maybe you should get on Slytherin's side then.
I'm good. I'm good.
Percy's being all weird, and everyone thinks it's probably because he thinks that prefects wouldn't have been attacked. They were above all of that.
That is, I think, the dumbest thing I think I've read out of this chapter so far, is that one would think because they're a prefect that somehow they're untouchable.
It also totally sounds like Percy logic, though.
True. Still dumb.
But after all the kids go to bed, which I imagine Ron and Harry getting super annoyed that took forever. Because all the kids are apparently talking about the Chamber of Secrets all fucking night. They put the cloak over themselves and decide to sneak out to Hagrid's house to confront him about his past.
Yeah, they got to do it now.
I don't understand why they make it a point in the book that says it's time to get my dad's old cloak out again. Okay, now if I was given an invisibility cloak, I don't think you'd be able to put it away.
Yeah, it was weird. There was a couple things in this chapter that for some reason Joe wrote was like, you know what? We have to recap. It was the same thing with Lee Jordan. She made a point to be like, the twins' friend, Lee Jordan, like, we're more than halfway through the second book. If you don't know who he is, you're just going to assume he's a Gryffindor. Shut up.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with that. I think she was just trying to underline that it was Harry's dad's cloak. In case you don't remember, that's where it came from for some stupid-ass reason.
Yeah.
I still would use it every day, though.
No, I agree with you.
I think Harry was just being dramatic. I
Okay.
think he was going for the big one-liner. You know, the camera does the close-up thing, and he's like, it's time to use my dad's old cloak.
So you think as a 12-year-old would have talked like that just
He's
because...
just being dramatic.
All right.
Because it's fucking cool.
I would use that thing
I mean,
every
you got to
day.
give him that. Right.
Stealing snacks and shit.
And maybe it, like, you know, my dad's dead, so let's talk about him. On their way out to Hagrid's hut, they see a whole bunch of teachers and ghosts and everybody making rounds through the castle. Ron stubs his toe and swears real loud right by Snape.
Jade and I were kind of laughing about this earlier. That would happen, and another teacher would look over at Snape and go, I'm sorry? Did you just say motherfucker? And he'd be like, no, I sneezed. Like, wow, it really sounded like you said motherfucker.
Weird.
Yeah. You sneeze weird, pal.
Once they get out of the castle, they get to Hagrid's hut, and they knock on the door, and Hagrid opens the door with a crossbow in his hand, and I thought that was fucking aggressive.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Not the warmest welcome.
No, and it never tells us who he intended. He's like weird. He's all jumpy this whole chapter, and we kind of touched on this earlier, me and Nate, and he was like, I think he was just waiting for someone to come get him, but it's weird, because who does he think he's going to come get him that he's going to shoot with a fucking crossbow?
Well, what's even weirder is he goes, oh, I thought it was going to be, well, never mind.
Right.
I'm not going to tell you who I thought it was.
I question / theorize if he was afraid that the whatever it is that's like attacking Muggleborns would like come after him, though he's not actually Muggleborn because he's half giant and half wizard.
Maybe he thought Fluffy was going to come out of the forest and like confront him about not feeding him anymore.
Or that.
Whoa.
Also plausible.
Jade's going deep, guys. Well, and what also makes this weird is that Harry and Ron show up with the invisibility cloak. Hagrid's making tea after freaking out with the crossbow. Everything's cool.